Hey everyone, this is Gerald with Cigar Tree. Now tonight I'm going to visit the Cain Habano F in Robusto. Now I've had quite a few of the different Cain cigars over the years, however I've never had this particular stick. Now this cigar is 5 3/4 inches long, it's a 50 ring gauge, and appearance wise it's a pretty sloppy looking stick. It's got a lot of lumps and bumps here and there, it's got some protruding veins. Even the band itself has a really pronounced seam, so it's not the prettiest cigar I've seen. However, I'm more interested to see how it smokes. So let's cut this guy up and see what it's all about. Okay, right out of the gates, this cigar has a very strong, almost offensive flavor that just attacks your entire palate. I'm not sure if it's just the tobacco notes. This is a lot of Ligero in this cigar, or it's all Ligero. Maybe that's what I'm just picking up and I'm not used to it, but it's a very sharp flavor. I mean, it just kind of attacks my tongue, attacks the roof of your mouth, attacks everywhere in your entire palate. So I'm gonna let this rest. Let's see how this develops and see if it changes, hopefully for the better. Okay, I'm about a ½ inch into the stick, and wow, that retrohale is extremely intense. So, anyways, I'm a ½ inch into the stick, and those I'm gonna call them tobacco notes. Those strong tobacco notes, those Ligero flavors have they kind of mellowed out a little bit, but they're still pretty intense. And it's for the most part, it's all I'm tasting. I taste that, and on the wrapper has like a leathery taste. It's actually a pretty good flavor. As far as when I'm drawing the cigar, the flavor's there. Like I said, it's a little milder. To me, it's a little off-putting. I'm hoping that it will change into something else, or kind of even smoothen out a little bit more. Now the retrohale, it's almost those same tobacco notes, very sharp. I don't want to call it pepper. It's like a spice to it, but it's a very sharp spice. And already my sinuses now, my back of my throat are completely numb just after doing a retrohale. So I'm definitely feeling the effects of the cigar. So what I'm going to do is I'll work it down to the end of the first third, and then I'll just come back with an update. All right, I'm a third into this stick, and those Ligero, those strong tobacco notes have pretty much disappeared. So what's replaced it is more of I'd say like a dry leather. In fact, that's the predominant flavors that I'm picking up now in this stick. Now there's other flavors in the cigar, and it's actually pretty complex. What I'm picking up also is there's some hints of woodsy notes. There's definitely some black pepper there, and there's this cocoa. And the cocoa, when it hits, it's a great taste. The problem is that it's extremely rare. So I'm liking the cocoa notes a lot. The leathers, like I said, it's a little dry. It's not quite bitter, but it does lean a little bit towards the bitter end of the spectrum. So really not a great start for me for this stick, but I'm hoping, as complex as it is, that it'll introduce some new flavors as I progress through the smoke. Now, construction-wise, the cigar is actually pretty deep. As you can see, the ash here is solid. The ash has been great. The burn's a little bit crooked, and it just started getting crooked now. For the most part, it's been razor sharp. I'm hoping it will self-correct itself. I'm not going to correct it. I'm going to let it ride for now, and then if it needs a touch-up a little later, I'll touch it up. But like I said, overall, it's just not really an enjoyable cigar for me. But then again, I don't have a whole lot of experience with Ligero wrapper leaves and fillers, so I'm going to keep working on the cigar, and I'll come up with another update at the end of the second third. Okay, we're 2/3 down now, and the flavors have definitely shifted from the first third. Actually, they've improved some for me. Those strong leather notes that I was picking up earlier, they're still present. But however, what I taste more now is a earthy tone. So that earthy notes it's kind of a combination of earth and leather. That's the predominant flavors that I'm picking up now. So it's a better flavor in this stick, but it's still pretty dry, and it's actually a little too dry for my liking. Now, there's some other flavors I'm picking up as well. I'm still picking up the black pepper. I'm also picking up cocoa. However, that cocoa notes that I picked up earlier on has completely lost its sweetness, so it's just more of a unsweet cocoa. And that flavor is also kind of few and far between, so I don't pick it up as much as I do for example, as the leather. I'm not really picking up a whole lot of wood anymore either in the cigars, mainly just earth and leather at this stage. Now, the Retro Hell has, instead of a black pepper, it's really shifted to more of a, I would say, a strong spice. And the Retro Hells in this cigar is just really knocked through my sinuses. It's like a bulldozer going through your sinuses. In fact, the first Retro Hell was so intense that I felt like somebody punched me in my throat. This one's not as intense. It's a lot more tolerable, but it's still, like I said, there's nothing sweet about the cigar at this stage, and it's still pretty dry. So an underwhelming stick for me at, as far as the first 2/3 of the stick go. Now, construction wise, I've had quite a bit of issues with this stick. I've already had to relight it twice. I've had to touch up the burn a couple times too. So I think a large part of that has to do with those spongy spots that I showed earlier in this review. So I've definitely had some construction issues with this stick, but overall, like I said, it's just not something that I'm really enjoying, but I'll take it as far as I can, and then I'll just wrap everything up. Okay, I'm pretty much done with this stick. There's really no changes in the final third. It's pretty consistent with the flavors that I picked up in the second third, and overall this has been a really dry cigar, so a little bit too dry for my liking. And the biggest issue I had is with the construction. I had to relight the cigar multiple times. I've had to touch up the burn multiple times, so it's been a frustrating stick through the, I'd say about the second third on. So I've really had some problems with this stick, and flavor wise it's just not one that agrees with my palate, but that's just my opinion. If you've had this cigar before and you like it or even dislike it, please leave a comment below. If you like this review, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next review.